The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. Hopefully that's it. That's some noise here. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, we've got a very interesting day going on here. We're off 33 points on the S&P cash. We should have had a nice bounce, a continuation from yesterday. Pretty much right after the bell this morning, we started seeing some more selling, and it's been kind of consistent all day long. There hasn't been huge volume in a lot of these big stocks. But normally when we get action like this, what we find out is a day or two later that there was a hedge fund or two or 10 that blew up, and they are liquidating the shares as quickly as they can. And that's, you get this kind of real slow, consistent selling, not a lot of volume, zero buyers, just basically a buyer strike. You've got a few sellers, but really very light buyers in the marketplace. And it is pretty much what you get. So we're going to start looking at charts fairly early today. But this is bear market action. You get some wild swings to the downside, and you need to expect the unexpected. So let's go out here and start looking at some stocks because a great deal of them, when I was looking 2 hours ago, had been coming down with fairly light volume, and even had made tests yesterday, and some of them still are not down there. We'll go through the list I have. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll keep an eye on it. 1903 on the S&P cash. Looks like we're going to go blow through the lows, and maybe the volume will come at the tail of the day. But as I put in a directive to sell some of our longs, which were still in the money, or actually one of our longs that we actually have was still in the money. This is where you get one of these 200-300 point days, either the upside or the downside at the end of the day, with very little, if any, kind of warning or suggestion of which way the market's going to break. And the old saying of when in doubt, get out made sense to me today. But we'll take a look at it. The only thing I can say this week is that, thank God, we made a lot of money shorting last week and covered our short on last short on Monday, and at least I haven't given a wad of it back, which is always a problem in a lot of times in these markets. You keep an eye on it. Anyway, 1905 on the S&P cash. ADT, like I said, some of these stocks out here a lot of them out here are on very light volume, and still fairly light volume today doesn't mean we won't have volume come in. But the October 2nd low in ADT, $29.34, 5.7 million shares, 2.8 million shares yesterday, gave you the signal by closing back into the trading range yesterday. Volume's 2 million shares now, though, and so you could conceivably at least match yesterday's volume. Some of the other stocks that should be blowing out lows as we go into this close, as we're blowing out basically testing, I guess you can say, testing the lows of the S&P. Certainly our Avon products. This dog is testing its November 13th low, $2.41. 26 million shares, did it with 14 million. Did close back into the trading range, so you had a fairly decent signal. Light volume, at least on this one. So some of these stocks are not seeing a ton of action. Let's look at Caterpillar. See on this one. This one had broken through the previous lows. The volume was pretty much lighter. You needed kind of about 12 million shares. 2 days ago, you had 8.3. Yesterday, you had a little 8.6 million shares. Today, just 4 million shares so far. So again, as we look at these, it continues to be rather problematic. But that's what else can you say about that? You need this thing to go back above $63 to get back in the trading range. But normally with a kind of vicious day like this, kind of like yesterday, kind of hard to see how we don't sell off into the close today, although everything says we should have had a wonderful bounce. Chicago Bridge and Iron Company. Some of these stocks may still go out and test their lows, but again, depending on the company out here, we do have a lot of them with lighter volume still. The September 29th low, $36.23, $35.27 back on January 12th. So we have pierced it. Now today, of course, the 35.81 is below the September 29th low, so we are still below it. But again, not a lot of volume out here. There are some other stocks. Let's get into those real quick. I wanted to go through the movers out here. Let me find my deal out here. Okay. Is that right? No, that's not right. There we go. We'll find it. But this action really started after the, in earnest, after the crude numbers. And that makes me think that maybe I saw somebody and then talking about potentially crude, shorting the big commodities broker in England, or thinking about it. Maybe that was a couple of days ago. And my thinking is that maybe we've got more people like that that are really in the commodity space, and maybe today's numbers were what they needed to be good to save them. And basically that was it. Without the bounce, with those numbers being poor, that was about it for it. We've got some stocks that are up, but some have just been punished. And this is more consistent with a bear market. This is Lending Tree that came out. Interestingly enough, I think they were up a little bit right after earnings. Started to go south not too long after. Today, giving it all up, $90 through $60.89 I show as the low. What's the latest one out here on Tree? $60.75. So it's even a little bit lower than that now. Monstrous volume. And when you look at this, for a company that should be doing extremely well with higher interest rates, this thing looks like it's blown through literally everything. The next real level is probably somewhere around this low $50 level that we saw on January 13th of 2015, where this thing actually started going back up through these highs. And you did have a monstrous August 18th high out here with no volume. You had a sign of strength going into it in early August, about August 4th, but that was the last sign, and then nothing but light volume. We'll be back in a minute. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Of course, I've made a bunch of money today because I got my lotto ticket here. I hope everybody else does too. My stop, $4. So I can go very deep into the hole on that one. We're playing around here at these lows where the market bounced before 1902 off 37 points on the S&P cash. What we do have is a just ton of volume that came in pretty much from the time we hit 1915 on the cash to now. And it looks like we're going to blow these lows out before the end of the day. I don't see any chance of us really coming back on this now. So keep an eye on it. What we could do, I think, is make a bottom, but it's probably going to be lower. So we're looking for some kind of bounce yet to short again. I was hoping to get back up to 1975, but I think maybe that ship has sailed. Anyway, we were talking about stocks that had already really truly moved. Will I show up tomorrow if I win? I have a feeling I would take the day off. So we'll find out. At least one day. And then I'd have to be right back at it to invest my billions. Might have to stop by the Boeing plant and get my 767 Dreamliner and fly it back past several people that are airline pilots in the den in Atlanta and show off the Boeing that they so despise. Anyway, what else do we have going on here? Just a lot going on, so I'm kind of bouncing around a great deal. Other stocks that look like they've blown up are some of the shipping companies. Scorpio Bulk Shipping down about 30% today. They had news. They've had nothing but news the last few days, but talk about a rocket down. December 31st, they were $10.19. Today, they hit $2.83. When we look at that whole sector, too, It looks like nothing but death warmed over. If we look at SEC, which is the Guggenheim Shipping Index, which is kind of a good proxy for the Baltic Dry Index, not a lot of volume in it, but at least you can quickly pop up something if you don't have the Baltic Dry Index on your system. You can always look it up on Bloomberg. But another day down in this thing, and I don't see anything really changing. My guess is that, of course, all that shipping continues to be problematic. We were talking about some of the stocks out here that look like they'd come close to testing their bottoms. Conn's, this company, CONN, is the company that's kind of like a Best Buy / Aaron's Rents. And to see this stock down so badly with a light volume is very interesting. 1402 is the December 16th low, 2.6 million shares, 700,000 shares today. So there are some stocks out here that looked about as washed out as we're going to get. The Japan fund, we looked at this the other day. Now, what's really kind of, this is ex-Japan. Japan was up fairly decently. Of course, the rest of the Pacific Rim has got the China syndrome going on. Not a lot of volume in this one, but my guess is if we continue to show poor results into the close and don't bounce at all, we're probably going to see this taken out overnight. So we'll want to be watching that. Other stocks of interest that are out here, we did salt. ISRG is actually up on the day. In fact, several stocks that have fairly high short interest rate are up there. Now, this one has pierced the previous high on July 22nd. That had 1.3 million shares at $564.86 with the 650,000 shares. So we're probably going to come in light on Intuitive Surgical. Again, it's got a lot of gaps down below that would not be surprised to see them being filled. Autodesk having a pretty horrible day. What is it? A DSK. If I can type. I mean, viciously bad action. I didn't have a chance to look at the headlines. So many things going on out here. Overall territory. Never saw anything. Value analysts. Never really saw anything in the news that explained it. Maybe it's out there and I just missed it. But down, volume is vastly expanded, and basically a 10% haircut in one day. What do we have off here? 7% off today. So fairly interesting out here. This 50 level should be at least some level of support through expiration. AIG's off a little. CSX had earnings last night, held up fairly well until the market started really rolling on this one, and this one now is blowing out through the lows. Volume is picking up on it. 13 million shares. The August 24th low, though, had 17 million shares. I figure that with an hour and 30 minutes left, you'll be able to get to that 17 million share level as the wheels fall off the wagon. Back to the S&P, 1903. And what else do we have going on here? Fossil. I want to look at this one. This was one of these, like I said, a lot of these stocks are so beaten down. There's nothing left to them. Fossil actually on no volume, challenging its November 16th low that had 8.7 million shares. With 500,000 shares today. So some of these things are just so wildly washed out. There's just nothing left to them. And maybe they go lower, but the people that haven't sold look like they are not going to sell no matter what. Now, some of these stocks have broken through previous lows with lighter volume. Saw that with Fifth Street Financial Corporation, FSC. This is kind of interesting to see that it had light volume today, but yesterday it had significant volume, 2.3 million shares through the low of October 22nd. It's blown through its low, but again, not a lot of volume in some of these. Let's take a look at some others real quick. Green Plains Renewable Energy. A lot of these energy stocks, I think they kind of thought maybe yesterday was a salvation day for them. August 24th, the low in this one, $17.13, 1.2 million shares. Only had 870,000 shares yesterday. And again, 354,000 shares today. Looks like it could be something else. So we're making new day lows on the S&P cash. We're down to 1,900 now. And we'll continue to give the play-by-play out here. Trying to figure out if there's anything else I wanted to look at in my list. Other stocks of interest that were actually up, CYBR. And we'll get to this, I guess, on the other side of this. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can post a message in the den and give me a call, 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
I think we got a problem, folks. 1903 on the S&P cash. We're bouncing around these lows, but hard for me to believe or set a scenario up where this thing does not end up even going lower. In fact, I would not be surprised to see one of these routes that are so famous in bear markets. So keep extra frosty. And my advice would be to make sure you go to the bathroom, get everything out of the way, get a drink on your desk, and keep your finger on your trading mouse, because things will get hairy and fast in no time at all.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I think we did. Anyway, going to look at more stocks out here. We said some other ones are out here. CyberArk Software, good news out here. Huge bounce on volume. The more interesting part of this, I thought, was that FireEye basically bounced with it in sympathy, but it has since given up almost all of that in the retrace, where CyberEye did not. Earlier in the morning, I think it was printing something like 19 before the open, and already got it fairly hammered down before anything happened. And now, again, what do I have out here? It's off 9 cents. It was a high of 1863 out here, so fairly decent. So it was off almost $1.80 off its high. But in sympathy for CyberEye, what else do we have out here? Salt, Dune, Tree, Yum Brands. It's flat now. It was doing a little bit better on China news after the bell last night. Looks to me like it's still on a downtrend line that goes back up to September 17th of 2015. And you had kind of a little piercing of it on the 6th of October. But it looks like you've got a fairly decent downtrend line that this thing hit today. Not a lot of volume as it popped higher. But I guess the question is, could it be worse? And the answer is yes. Other stocks of interest out here, Iron Mountain. Again, some of these, looking at the August 24th, 25th area lows, this is the 25th low at $26.49 on Iron Mountain. It's gone into that on Thursday last week. 1.6 million shares. What was that? Friday, 1.6 million. We had, a million yesterday. Fairly light volume day, only about 500,000 shares, but it's making a doji out here, which could be the halfway move on the way down. So that would be $28 to $25. That would take you to $23. Yeah, I don't know. It's got a low back here from February 3rd, 2014, but just 600,000 shares. So that's not a great deal. If we go back a little further on this thing. Yeah, $25, that's it. So then you get a big break if you go back any further. Let's take a quick look at the IWM. Man, this thing has blown apart. But again, for an index compared to yesterday, where we had 47, what's it called, 47.1, 0.2, something like that. Today, 26 million shares. So this route is pretty good. And as I said, a lot of times, oh, there we went. Danger, Will Robinson.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
1895 on the S&P cash. Now we're off 43 and some odd points. So that's it. Oh, keep an eye on all this stuff. I don't see anything out here that I would be buying before the end of the day. Just want to go back through my list and see. Looked at Lending Tree. We looked at that. We looked at Autodesk. We looked at CSX. Looked at CyberEye. I think that's all the ones for action today. Apple really was looking fairly decent at the open. This thing had every indication of trying to get into 102 to 105 for Friday's expiration, but pretty decent push down on it. But again, not a lot of volume out here today. 40.5 million shares so far. The low out here had 81 million shares. So you're looking at the 96.43 as a possible low in that one. No bounce. Nope. Just a lump of coal. 1890 now on the S&P cash. This thing is going to fall apart, and how to do. We've had the Dow kind of make lows out here, but I think you're probably looking at a 500-point down day now on the Dow if this continues. And again, we've talked about it at the beginning of the show, why I kind of bypassed everything else in the news. This is the action that you normally get when there's something big going on behind the scenes that no one knows about, and you find out about it several days later, if at all. But most of the time you'll find out. It may be a month from now or even days from now. A lot of times no one even brings it up anymore because it was 2 months ago, and then you find out all those people, they're out on the street because their hedge fund just blew up. Their commodities trading floor just cratered. But yeah, pretty horrible market out here. Off 45 points on the S&P cash. I don't talk a lot about it on the NASDAQ, but we've got 1.5 billion shares already on the NASDAQ and 3.2 million shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. So there is plenty of action and plenty of volume. Some of the other stocks out here that are banging on lows without a lot of volume, certainly Michael Kors, it's August 24th, slammed down $36.63. We are below that today with 3.5 million shares, so just half. So a few of these, like I said, that are just so washed out that have come off highs. Maybe there's just nothing left for them to the downside. Doesn't mean they're going to bounce, but does mean that probably there isn't a lot of water left in the well. We were talking about Micron. Had a bunch of callers, I think, right before Christmas. And I was telling them that I think this is kind of a second half story on it. Had a kind of a little bounce out there on earnings till about $14, $14.70 or something. Came back out, kind of hit that gap again. It's been doing nothing but moving back down. We've talked a lot about their memory story with Intel and their new memory technology. But at the present, that's a second half of the year kind of story. And I think computers being a little lower kind of says it all. Now, Intel is after the bell tomorrow night. We'll be taking a look at it. It's, not a lot of volume out here. They've been doing incredibly well from every kind of report I can find for the server space, where they make even better margins than anybody could ever believe. I think they make 100 or 150% margins on their server chips, depending on which model it is. And that makes up for a world of evil in other parts of the business that are not doing this well. I think last time I saw it was 96 or 98% of all servers have their Xenon chips in it. Down today, so far 19 million shares. Your previous low is 31.43. That is after the bell tomorrow. When we come back, we'll look at Microsoft.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're back. We're going to look at Microsoft. This thing, of course, gapped up on earnings. It's still hanging up there. One of the better supported stocks. Opened higher at 54 today, back down under 52 now. Again, not a lot of volume, sitting on top of a gap up that happened with, I don't know what we're going to call it, 135 million shares on earnings. And got back into it with 45 million shares on the 11th. Today, we got, 45 million shares. So, again, one of these stocks that it probably holding up a little bit better than everybody else. And the question is whether or not they hold up better through the Intel earnings tomorrow night, and maybe something else is going on there. Now we're breaking new lows, 1889 on the S&P cash. Volume continues to roll through here. I've always thought that we were going to get about a 4.8 billion share day to really signal that the bear market was upon us, almost like the bear on Leonardo DiCaprio in The Remnant, and we all know what the bear did, even though they deny it. 1890 on that, and we're off 50 points. Again, watching the Dow, I would not be surprised to see a close lower than 500 on it. Like I said, we just this seems remnants of many times when the markets just like fell apart. There wasn't a lot of discussion on it, and then you found out that Lehman Brothers was bankrupt. One of the other broker dealers had an issue, and you just never know about those things until days later, sometimes months later, and finding out. But something has truly broken in this market, like I said, and it happened probably. It really looked like something significantly changed right after those crude numbers. And that makes me think that maybe there's somebody with a very big problem on Wall Street. What else do we have out here? Take a quick look at some of the others. Okay. Well, we'll go through my list of stuff here. Oracle was another one out here that was at previous lows. I wanted to see how this thing was holding up today. It is going against several lows. Let me get that back up here where we can see it. This one is blowing through its August 24th low, $35.14, 32 million shares, 18 million shares so far today. Doesn't look like it's going to close back into that trading range today, 35.14. And that's it. How much time we got left? About 15 minutes. We'll try to get to as many of these as we can. Very interesting action in the junior miners out here today. Looked like maybe they had something to go, and now kind of interesting. Pan American Silver, I was looking at this one We had a nice bounce in silver out here today, but that 590 still looks to be hanging out there. It kind of tried to get into it yesterday with 3 million shares. August 6th, it had 6 million shares. Today got a little reversal out here, but not a lot of juice. Man, it would be nice to see that tested on lighter volume of that October 6th. So something like 3 million below 590 and then back into the trading range. Verifone, another stock blowing out through the lows without any volume compared to its December 15th low of 5 million shares. Last a few days, 1.2, 1.3. Today, just 750,000 shares. Again, you know, we can get a couple of days like this below this. If volume doesn't come in, then maybe we pop back up. But again, a lot of times, you just find out later that Lehman Brothers just went belly up, and nobody really gave you the explanation of it at the time. Maybe there is. I haven't had a chance to watch TV. It's better to react anyway than probably have a bunch of people actually telling you a bunch of things that probably aren't quite true. What else do we have? Verifone, Paychex out here, a huge gap down. Or gap up. This thing's come back. It has not filled a gap. That goes back to September 30th of 2015. Kind of pushing back into this gap up at 4.4 million shares. Today, we've just got 2.5 million shares as we come back. So there's a lot of support in a lot of these stocks right underneath where we're at. But that's it. Let's take a look at some other ones. Dave and Buster's, of course, gaming, what do you call it? Gaming place. You go play games and eat food. Horribly overpriced games and horribly overpriced food. Down. Volume picked up a little bit more than yesterday. I don't see a great deal in this one. What else do we have out here? Plug Power. Nothing in that. P10. I'll keep an eye on that. Patterson UTI Energy, a lot of these energy stocks down here on fairly light volume. The August 26 low, $12.98 with 8.3 million shares. Went and dipped below that with lighter volume on October 2nd of just 5.7 million shares. Got 3.2 million shares today. And again, you'd need to close back above that 12.98 to be back into the trading range. So there may be a play for us on the long side yet again. Let's take a look at Qualcomm. Qualcomm out here, you know, it already tested its December 14th low with 17 million shares, with 13 million shares on January 11th. It's kind of drifted up, down on 9.3 million shares so far compared to that 17 million low. But you also have a 45 million share low. This thing has been dipping below for a while. That's the November 18th low without the kind of volume coming in that you would want to look for. So we'll keep an eye on it. 1890 on the S&P cash as we continue our roll. RDY. Mr. Reddy's Laboratory. He looks like he's not ready. What else do we have? Regency Centers. Another one of these companies up at the highs. And again, a lot of these stocks are so beaten down, I would be scared to short them at that level. Now, Regency Centers Corporation's REG is still hanging at these highs. November 2nd, $69.34, 350,000 shares. This did go through it with higher volume of 890,000 shares and hanging up here at the highs. You can really see the energy really came out. Regency Centers operates real estate investment trust company through its subsidiaries, owns and develops community and neighborhood shopping centers. Man, you'd think that if one was going to blow up, this would be it. Shopping centers, does anybody actually go anymore? Like I said, some of this fruit has already been on the ground rotting, so I'm not going to be picking those up to short. You want kind of a nice, bright, shiny apple. Still up on the tree. That one might be one. This one's blown apart. Nothing new in there. RRY, RRD, RR Donnelly and Sons. Nothing in that one. I don't know. What else do we have? Roadrunner Transportation, Reliance Steel and Aluminum. Of course, we had earnings coming out from Alcoa. That didn't do so well. We come back, we'll look at RS, Reliance Steel and Aluminum. It's down here, not a lot of volume today. It is at support. We'll be back in a minute. I see Tom getting warmed up in the bullpen for the last hour of the day.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
It certainly looks like the market has lost that love and feeling, and it's gone. We got to a low of 1886 on the S&P cash, and we're off 43 points today. We can have maybe some little 10-point bounces, I think, like we had now. But my guess is there are going to be some people on the ropes, and we're going to see probably some more decent selling. I know there isn't a lot of volume. It's just with an hour left to go, I find it highly unlikely that we're going to get any kind of rip before the end of the day. Could we get a big turnaround tomorrow? Maybe, but it looks to me like there is a great deal going on here that I do not know about, and when in doubt, I stay out. Other things going on in the market, we'll take a look, a few things out here. Cena Corporation, another one down here on a low volume test of its August 24th low, $17.55, 940,000 shares. Yesterday we had 600,000 shares. Everything said, we should probably get some kind of bounce out of this thing. And we're down 188,000 shares today. So again, there's a lot of these stocks out here that are fairly washed out. The question is whether or not you get a kind of bounce that allows you to play these things for more than maybe 5 minutes at a time. And I'm not out there asking to catch any daggers here before the end of the day. Shield, let's take a look at Sears Holdings, one of the Walking Dead stocks. One of the reasons I thought we'd probably have a fairly decent bounce into the end of the week is some of the stocks like this, the December 3rd low, it was 1803 on Sears Holdings, 2 million shares, pierced it, closed back into the range, actually even had a tad more volume yesterday. Little bounce up here today on a doji. Volume is still fairly light, 539,000 shares. There's a few other stocks out here like it. If you didn't see it today in the news, soon Edison is getting sued by one of the investment broker dealers out here. This thing got halted like several times, and the chart probably makes it look a little bit better than it did. It kind of blew through its previous low yesterday with lighter volume. With a little heavier volume. So this thing could still be going BK in a hurry. Keep an eye on that. I wouldn't be playing it, by the way. Other stocks, Sierra Wireless is out here going through its November 13th low, $14.06. That had 1 million shares yesterday. You had 500,000 shares. Today, just 200,000 shares. So we continue to see a lot of these stocks, 50 cents, $1 lower. Into some of these movements, and just not a lot happening out here. 1896 on the S&P cash. After that 10-point, pretty much 10-point bounce, this thing's kind of stagnated. What do we have left with 1 minute left to go? I wanted to take a look at tech data. This stock is back to its breakout area of the 20th of, August of last year. 2.2 million shares on that gap up. Came back, tried to get into it on November 24th with 1.8 million shares. Pierced it on January 7th with 600,000 shares. Kind of pulling back into it with 200,000 shares today. So a handful of stocks. It may be a giant kind of cyclical market where we're playing whack-a-mole, but certainly some of these stocks not getting any attention to the downside today as we look through the rest of it. Be careful. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Hang on for Tom O'Brien.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.